Hello and welcome to another Franchise Hockey Manager 6 stream. My name is Adam. I'm the community manager of Franchise Hockey. Not with me, or sorry, with me, but not pictured on your screen. I messed it up already. Is FHM producer Jeff. Say hi, Jeff.
Hey, everybody. Nice start, Adam.
It's that picture of Stafford Smythe just has me all messed up because we're back to the swinging 60s. Jeff, we started a game. We are the Vancouver Canucks in 1965.
Yeah,
How is this possible?
get everybody up to date on what we're doing with this one. If you missed us last week, or 2 weeks ago, rather, this is the alternate reality version of the Canucks, where Stafford Smythe, one of the co-owners of the Leafs, decided, and this is something that he actually, business deal he tried to make happen, tried convincing the city of Vancouver in I think it was 1964 that he originally suggested this, to take the old Vancouver bus depot, which it was out of use at that point. It's a picture of it in the 30s, and try to get. I think the deal was they were going to sell it to him for a very cheap price, and he would develop that whole block and make a huge modern arena. Basically, do what his dad did with the Leafs and Maple Leaf Gardens in the 30s. Was going to do that with Vancouver in the 60s. Vancouver voters turned that down. The deal died. Stafford Smythe hated Vancouver after that and kind of went out of his way to keep them from being part of the first NHL expansion, which worked. Canucks didn't get in until 1970. But what we're doing here is sort of a what if the deal had actually happened and the Canucks had gotten into the NHL in 1965 ahead of the big 67 expansion. So what we've got is a Canucks team that is the only expansion team in addition to the original six. So obviously they've had the pick of players in the expansion draft. And we've got a pretty solid lineup here, I think. Few Hall of Famers in there. Terry Sawchuk in goal, although he's a little bit past his prime. And maybe a little thin up front. Some future guys did okay a little bit farther down the road. Red Berenson, who was St. Louis's best player for quite a few years after the expansion. Then some bigger name WHA guys, Wayne Connolly, Andre Lacroix, and the Canucks' actual first captain, Orland Kurtenbach, is in there. We got him from Rangers? No, Bruins. And
Load it up as much as we can.
A variety of other guys. I've run this a little farther out than where we stopped last week or 2 weeks ago. And you can have a look at what I did in the exhibition season just to finish off the preseason. Easier if we go to this view, I guess. Not too impressive. 1-5 and 2 during the exhibition season. We managed to beat the Hawks, and we got absolutely crushed by the Rangers in our last preseason game. So now we've got a few days off, and I'm just deciding at this point how I'm going to cut the roster down a little bit. We got wound up with one injury. Carl Brewer, our best defenseman, is going to be out for a couple of weeks, so he's going to miss the home opener. So we'll have to keep somebody up to cover for him. But
let me ask you, Jeff. Since we're looking at the roster, anyways, what do you think is our strength? Because I know what I think our strength is. But here's what yours is. I definitely think goaltending, especially with signing Esposito as our number 3
Yeah,
guy.
Eventually what will happen there is Sawchuk wears down. Esposito will be ready to step in. We'll eventually push out Giacomin, and we can trade him and hopefully get a little more scoring, because that's where we're looking thin, although that may develop because we've got a couple of guys with low starting ratings but fairly high potential, so we may do okay there. Okay, so I sent our farm team in there. See, Adam, I used your logo.
Well, it's not my logo. I didn't create it.
Well, the logo you uploaded based on, where was that one from originally?
I think it was actually tied to a Vancouver soccer team, maybe, but I thought it was a good logo anyways.
Don't recognize it.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe a basketball team. I can't really remember.
It's not the Voodoo logo, because I remember what that looked like, the old roller hockey team. Okay, Lacroix is going to have to go down. He's only half a star at this point. And Sater, sadly, will have to spend some time in the minors, too. We're not going to be playing him right out of the gate.
Gudu's trying to warm up to you, saying that you are our greatest strength.
Too late to suck up, Gudu. Dennis Kearns, another future Canuck in real life. You can go down to.
Yes, our team is defined by all of our future GMs and coaches.
Bill Collins, future Washington Capital, can also go down. Now, let's see, I don't. Wall's got Roberts and Wall are pretty much even in potential, but I want Wayne Hillman in. And we've only got, remember this is the 60s, so we got shorter lineups here. And I can only address 10 forwards if I'm going to address 6 defensemen, because we're only allowed 18 players.
Different time.
Hampson in, Willie O'Ree, and Duff. So I'm going to have to sit out at least one decent player. Maybe Forbes can. Well, I've got Kurtenbach to be the checking line center. Or do I sit Reggie Fleming down? Oh, wait, I know what I can do. Wall goes down.
So, and Jeff, I'm just curious. At any point, would you consider only dressing 4 defensemen?
I could try it, but I mean, no. I think even if I did do that, I'd go with 5 defensemen, just because I suspect that's going to wear down our guys too much.
Okay.
We got 4.
I was just curious.
Harvey out there. With it, I might try it with a different team if I was really deep, but had 4 good defensemen, but I don't have that here. And let's see, Kennedy can go back in. Global Rose on the right wing, and O'Ree and see extra forward, and Wade Roberts then comes out. Fleming goes in. There we go. I think I've got that how I want. What does the AI do with these? Alright, so I got to take Fleming's. Switch Fleming's role from a forward one to a defensive one.
Now he's a guy who could go either way, right?
Yeah, left wing slash left defenseman. He's a little better at left wing, but I'm going to be able to put him back on D. For some reason, oh yeah, I meant to check that last week and I never did. It's putting Kennedy on the 4th line twice. Got to see why it's doing that. But otherwise, do these make sense? Yeah, this isn't going to be a pretty team. We got 1 or 2 grinders.
Bump and grind.
Say it again.
Bump and grind.
Yeah. See, no, I think I'm just going to have to leave them with those roles.
Jeff, since we're playing historical mode, do you know what happened today 33 years ago?
33 years ago. So 1987. Good Lord, that was 33 years ago?
I know. Makes you feel a little old, doesn't it?
Yeah. 87, was that the Rendezvous series? We've been around this time.
Though I don't know what you're talking about, so you got me on that.
Russia series.
Oh, no, sorry, not that one. This would be if I told you that the score was 7-5. Does that help?
Not really, no.
Okay, second last hint. If I said the number is 334, would that give you a good enough?
334.
334.
Nope, you got me there.
All right. On this day in 1987, there was a giant snowstorm in New Jersey.
Oh, and they played the yellow ref jerseys.
It covered everything, and New Jersey played the Flames at the Meadowlands in front of 334 people.
Yeah, and they didn't have real refs, so they brought in some amateur guys who were wearing like yellow practice jerseys.
Yeah, and the game was played, and so if you went to the game, you were given a letter told that you were part of the 334 club.
Nice. So we got our season preview here, and not surprisingly, we're not being mentioned in any categories here. And yeah, Gordie Howe, best player in the league. Also mentioning Beliveau and Bobby Hull. Bobby Orr is 1 year away from joining the league, but the Bruins own him already, so we're not going to be able to get him. But they've got, you see the guys who were Norris candidates before he came in, and Johnny Bauer, Charlie Hodge, and Glenn Hall was the best goalies. And it looks like Montreal, Chicago, and Toronto are the favorites. So we'll be fighting. It would be nice if we can finish ahead of at least one of these teams.
Here's open.
And that's a fine start. Our starting goalie, Giacomin, has dizziness and nausea and is out.
Fantastic.
So Tony Esposito comes back up.
Luckily, he doesn't have to go that far.
Yep, we got our farm team in Victoria, the old Victoria Maple Leafs. I'm assuming we cannot spot them out and had their farm team in the Western League this year.
Gudu says, I hope people got seat upgrades to that game. I'm pretty sure you probably could just sit wherever you wanted.
Yeah, you made it in. You deserve to go wherever you want. Okay, so Terry Sawchuk going to be playing it's actually our road debut. Wow, Gordie Howe with a 5-point night to start the season off against the Leafs. And let's watch this one. The first game in Canucks history and Canucks alternate history. And I'm not sure. I hope I don't definitely. Let me check the options first. I can't remember. Did we say, yeah, low sound is okay for the stream, isn't it? It's not.
Yeah.
And yeah, we got everything else. Okay, we'll just watch the goals. Oops. Break stream. No, that's fine. So we'll see how this plays out. We did get the first shot on goal, but Harry Howell opens it up to the Rangers 3 minutes in. Oh, this is not good. This is one of the worst teams in the league, maybe besides us, and they were started out shooting us 10-1.
Ouch.
See the lovely Western Hockey League era Canucks uniforms. Sawchuk's wearing there. They're from one of the packs you can download from our mod forum or workshop on Steam. And Gary Sawchuk puts in another one, former Ranger. And ironically,
no, that's not.
Who was a Canucks goalie in the future.
Sorry, Jeff. I got to correct you there. Those jerseys are just from our forums.
Oh, just on the forums, you're not on there. Okay, so
those are from Razor's jersey thread on our forums.
That's right. Yeah, sorry. And 3-0. Were you going to get shut? Are we going to get shut out in the first game? No, Johnny McKenzie breaks the shutout. So we're not going to get shut out in our first game. But Nielsen 4-1 and now they're on the way to round 5. So this is not a great start. Although Ted Hampson makes the 5-2. So our strength is supposed to be our goaltending. I'm not sure if letting 5 goals in the first game of the season bears that out. And you see the weird Rangers logo that they had this season.
I don't mind their Rangers logo. I kind of like it, to be honest.
It looks like somebody's awkward attempt at drawing the Rangers logo from memory. So there we go. We out-hit them at least, 22-12.
It's more just an accented on the outside. I don't think that's that bad.
And game rating-wise, the right side of our D broke down. It looks like Vaughn, Hillman, Wojtowicz all in the 50s for game rating. Claude LaRose, who's I think only 1 star, had a pretty bad one. But yeah, Hampson's the good game. Gary Bergman who's our best defenseman with Brewer out. Good game. And the Rangers look like they kind of spread their scoring out a little bit. So, yeah, and Gordie Howe gets his 600th NHL goal against the Rangers. So we've got Chicago tonight. improvement in the injury situation, none, and fitness looks good across the board at least.
Very important.
So I think we will just, I don't really see anybody I want to swap in. If Rose has another game like that, maybe we'll give Willie O'Ree a shot, but I'm just going to sim that one against the Hawks. And they beat us 4-1. We give up 40 shots, although we put 29 on the Hawks. And okay, yeah, it was a little rougher there. More bad defensive ratings on the right side. Yeah, it's our lower lines on the right side of our Ds are getting beat down a little bit. Oh, okay, Carl Brewer's back, so maybe they're almost back. Rangers up next. Nope, still can't play, unfortunately. Got everybody at 100% health. Try one more with this lineup. Rangers with Seth Martin in goal. Canadian national team goalie and for most of the 60s. I don't remember them having him at this point. And we come up with a 4-3 win. So the first win in franchise history.
Nice.
And it was a late goal, or no, early goal in the third period by Reggie Fleming that put us over the top. So converted defenseman, or forward converted back to defenseman. Ted Hampson's been playing really well for us. He's been really high defensive ratings. Doug Harvey, for a 40-year-old, that's a nice game, 88.
Not bad at all.
And we've got a back-to-back here against the Rangers, so the only thing I'm going to switch up here is giving Esposito the start. And see if he does any better. Then he does, 1-1 tie. Still stops 42 shots for what I think is his first NHL game.
I believe that was, yes.
Yeah, looks like it is. Quick look at the standings. And got a couple of games at hand over most of the teams we're in last, but not necessarily. Looks like a fairly tight start to the league. And we're in Toronto at Maple Leaf Gardens. So Stafford Smythe goes back to visit his old team. And still nobody ready to play yet. Gonna go back to Sawchuk because we got him from the Leafs, I think. Yeah, it was him with Bowers. And it's a 4-2 loss. Again, giving up a lot of shots. Got to tighten that up a little bit. And slow the pace down a little bit in our tactics. Oh, it's already on.
Yeah, I think we did that first time because we recognized we were not going to be a great team.
Yeah, we got Boston in the second half of the back-to-back, so Esposito gets the start there. Ouch, 6-3 loss. Although, see, the shots are lower, but we gave up 6 goals, so that one wasn't really the D's fault. Bad goaltending there. Okay, yeah, if that writes, I mean, Harvey's playing. I gotta take a look at the stats here, and it looks like Dick Duff got suspended for something. What was I going to look for? Game rating. Oops. Yeah, see, it's the veterans carrying us here. Hampson up in the 80s.
Are you really surprised by that?
Yeah, and then kind of breaks down as you get down to the lower lines. So let's just keep going with this. And Duff is suspended for something he did in last night's game. What happened here?
Duff.
No, illegal check to the head with 18 seconds left in the game.
Perfect.
So
what a stand-up guy.
Brilliant. We're losing 6-3 and he takes a run at somebody. Okay, Jackman and Brewer are almost back, not quite. Duff is suspended, so he's going to swap in with Willie O'Ree. And O'Ree is a little more offensive, so I'm going to leave him on the first line. And we wound up with a 5-2 loss. Not good. Although Hampson, again, 93 game rating. So he's carrying the team at this point. Okay, Carl Brewer is finally back now.
Someone has to be carrying it.
I can send Doug Roberts down. Oh, we got great. Red Berenson got hurt. Day to day with a bruised jaw.
Talking too much.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to have to shuffle this around. We're going to move. I think Harvey is probably going to go over to the right side and shore that up a little bit. Who goes in for Brewer, though? Or who goes out for Brewer, rather? Wojtowicz can still develop. Bond's been playing better, so I think Wayne Hellman, he's out. Brewer's in. Redo the lines in a second. Oops. I need a forward too. Oh, I shouldn't have sent Roberts down because he could have played there. Actually, I'm going to... let's give Dennis Hextall a try.
Dennis Hextall?
Let's see, I keep clicking on that trying to go to the Victoria Canucks roster. I shouldn't have named the team Canucks. I think I'm on the top team's roster and instead get the bottom one. Okay. The AI wants... Who did the AI put on the right side? Fleming. Well, I'll give it one game like this to see how it works. Not too badly. You lost 2-1, but only gave up 27 shots.
Goalie gonna goalie.
Yeah. Oh, is Adams the Steam broadcast?
Yeah, we're good.
It is?
Yeah, everything seems to be going fine.
Okay,
no questions, no chat, but
yeah.
I'm watching, don't worry.
On Steam. We normally do this just on Twitch, but we're doing it to both of them tonight. So.
Testing things out.
Yeah.
As it were.
And
learning more, but
yeah, if you're listening on Steam and hear us responding to stuff in the Twitch chat, it may be a little confusing because you can't see it, but that's who we're talking to. And we get crushed by the Rangers in what'll probably be Tony Esposito's last game of the season.
That seems like you're daring for something bad to happen. Don't do that, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm actually going to put Jackman back in the lineup and sit him on the bench for the first game back. Okay, Hextall out, Duff in. AI is going to use O'Ree as the spare forward. That makes sense. See, we haven't got one really big scoring line. Oh, man. Why does it want Forbes County on the first line? I do not want that. Hampson.
Do they have any chemistry together, or is that maybe why?
No, not this soon. There wouldn't be any.
Well, I just meant from a previous team.
No. That you don't get chemistry like that. There's a little hitch with the way we said make chemistry work, so chemistry doesn't... You don't get historical chemistry in... in historical games at the start the way you would with a standard game.
Yeah, I forgot.
Okay. Against the Bruins, those lovely yellow jerseys. And this time we lose 6-3. Ed Westfall, 5 points. So we must be way down at the bottom. The good thing is we're almost certainly going to be drafting first this year, so because there's no lottery, but let's try not to get fired before then.
1966 NHL entry draft?
Yeah. I don't think that'll be one of the good drafts. No, I don't think that was in. I think it was 67 or 68 where it's the real draft. So you won't notice anybody that good if you're looking at the real results.
Brad Park will be available in the next draft.
So yeah, that would fix the right side of the defense nicely.
Hall of Famers and NHL All-Stars. So Brad Park in round 1, Joey Johnson in round 2, Don Luce in round 3.
And Ed Jackman comes back and wins his first game of the season for us.
Rick Lay was also in that draft, so that's not bad.
Your Canucks coach. And did we manage to keep the shots down at least? Yeah, actually only 24 shots, so we made it relatively easy on them, but okay, maybe we can do something here now. Well, particularly because we're getting Red Berenson back at the same time.
Excellent.
And up against Montreal for what I think is the first time this season. Let's give Giacomo to start again. 8-3 loss. Ouch. And they only had 35 shots on us. Okay, let's just pretend that didn't happen. Development report, not surprisingly, Sawchuk going downhill and Forbes Kennedy starting to slip a little bit as well. A few guys improving, a couple of guys on the farm, Sather and McQuaw and Collins that we want to improve. Jackman goes up a little, not bad. Stafford Smythe is disappointed in us so far, but what do you expect? We're an expansion team, even if we did have a fairly good selection of players to choose from, but we don't have a bunch of other expansion teams to beat up on.
Well, we still have the Leafs we can beat up on.
Give Sawchuk the next game against Montreal. And Montreal buries us 8-1 this time. 16-4 over 2 games. I've got a chat question. Does a character's role rating mean more than their overall skill stars? Like an 11 playmaker, 1.5 stars, or a 9 grinder, but 2 stars? No, it wouldn't be like a 2-point difference like that, and the role rating wouldn't be enough to overcome a half star, I don't think. I mean, it really depends on where you want to put them in. It might make sense for the grinder guy. If you're playing them on a third line, you want that to be your checking line. It may make more sense to have them in, but if you need somebody on a higher line, you definitely want the playmaker there. Let's swap Hillman and Wojtowicz, since our D against Montreal is pretty questionable. Hextall can... no, not Hampson. The last guy I wanted to get hurt day to day with groin tightness. At the AI do the lines. Tried Giacomo back in against the Wings, who he eventually wound up playing for after he left the Rangers late in his career, and we at least get a point out of it. 2-2 tie. 35 saves, not a bad performance.
Not too shabby, no, not at all.
Yeah, Ethan X in the chat, lower skill, it'll matter as long as they fit the role well, but that's only to an extent. I mean, you don't want to go too far. You don't want to be putting like a 1-star guy who's better at a particular role in for a 3-star guy.
Good question, though.
Yep. And scouting report. Canadians again. Can we at least not give up 8 goals in this one? Wow, 5-2 win. We got outshot pretty badly, but Forbes Kennedy with 3 assists.
Take what you can get, I guess, right?
Around. Yeah, okay, we'll stick to this lineup for a little while then. Got the Leafs the next night. And Sawchuk can start against them. And 2-2 tie. Wait, are we undefeated in 3 games?
Why are you trying to curse us, Jeff?
Well, a win and 2 ties. Good enough. And Hampson is almost back. That's good. Oh, wow. The Bruins waived Jerry Cheevers.
That's not something you would expect to hear.
Who they got? Who they have ahead of him? Oh, well, they got Bernie Perrant and Ed Johnston ahead of him. That's why.
Atheon, we are here to answer any questions you have.
Yeah. What was I going to look? Did I miss that? Oh, do I have the waiver setting thing on? I may not. No, I do not. I should have had, and I missed that chance at Cheevers, I think, because I haven't got the...
We don't really need them.
No, you'll be kind of a bit of a logjam in goal, but I forgot to have the turn the waiver setting on, so I'll switch that.
I mean, he would be nice as an access, but...
See if we can make it 4 games without a loss against the Hawks. Nope, 7-2. Stan Mikita with a hat trick for the Hawks. And the Blackhawks grabbed Jerry Cheevers, so they do have Glenn Hall right now, so Cheevers probably isn't going to be playing much for them to begin with. They'll probably lose him the next time we expand, actually.
Well, they might lose Glenn Hall.
Yeah, depending if he starts to decline, although he's a little too good right now at this point. It's not quite where he was in 67 in the real draft, where the Hawks let him go then. Okay, Montreal again. Wow, another... So we got a win and a tie in the last 2 games against Montreal after getting blown up by them before. 4-4 tie, Johnny McKenzie. And okay, good. Ted Hampson is all the way back. Hextall can go down. Marie comes out. Boy, the AI really does some weird things with their centers. Is that in the power play? Nope, the power play lines are normal. Just the 5-on-5, it wants to put the grinders on the first cup. I don't get why it's doing that.
Because you have everything set to slow.
Or it might be on my own. I wonder if my own internal preferences are doing some of that too. 1-1 tie against the Leafs, so we're up to... We've only won 3 games this year, but we tied 5.
We are the California Golden Seals.
Yeah. No overtime, no shootouts in the 1960s.
I mean, you could turn it on.
I think I'll pass. 6-4 win for Detroit over us. Gordie Howe with 3 assists. Although Wayne Connolly had 3 points for us. Not too bad. And I think I'm going to give Jacquemin about 2/3 of the games going forward here.
Sounds like a good plan. I like that.
It's a good move, yeah, because he gets 34 save shutout in his first game in. Let's see how he handles both games of back-to-back.
Question from Spy Chicken on Steam. He says, what year are you playing, Jeff?
1965-66.
Yeah. So this is, we've expanded the league using our league evolution, turning it off, and start an expansion team earlier.
And I meant to start Giacomin in goal. Put Sawchuk in. That didn't work. Oh no, wait. Did Sawchuk? I did start Giacomin in, and he got pulled, didn't he? Yep, he did. 4 goals on 27 shots. So Sawchuk played the back half of that, and we got killed 8-0 by Toronto after shutting out Boston the day before.
Ouch.
Giacomin has still got 2 stars though, so we're 2 flames. So he's relatively hot. And he bounces back by tying Montreal with a 41 save performance.
So our goaltenders are basically keeping us alive.
Yeah, although...
more or less as expected.
Gary Bergman out day-to-day with shin splints.
That hurts.
I think I can... No, I think he's only going to miss the 1 game.
I mean, literally, shin splints hurt a lot.
They do. And narrow loss, 4-3 to Montreal. And great, Bergman's still out for the 2nd game. I think we're going to get killed here, so I'm going to throw Sawchuk in for this one. No, just barely lose again, 3-2.
All right.
Oh, great. Now Sawchuk got hurt. Bruised foot, 1 to 2 weeks, so Tony Esposito comes back up.
That's because you said he was not going to play anymore.
Yeah, he still may not, because I think I'm going to go with Giacomin for most of this. Oops.
Jeff, I know you're a baseball fan, and we should talk about it anyways. Yep. How do you feel about Larry Walker getting into the Hall of Fame?
British Columbian in the Hall of Fame. Very
possibly the last.
And I'm an Expos fan too, so it's nice to see. Probably the
Expos. I'm not.
In. That'll be the last Expo that goes in until we get a new team.
I'm not. Expos aren't a team, Jeff.
Hey, they were the world champions this year. I know what you're talking about.
I'm not sure what you're talking about. Never heard of this Expos.
2-1 win against the Hawks behind a 48 save performance. We're rolling right along.
Explain it to me as you would a child.
Sometimes Major League Baseball does dumb things and lets teams relocate that shouldn't relocate. Although maybe they're going to give us back to them at some point. Okay, another development. Ooh, that's not good. Got a few guys. Oh, Eddie Shack. Why is he getting downhill? He's only 28. Doug Harvey, Sawchuk, Forbes, Kennedy declining. Oh, great. Dick Duff, too. Younger guys improving. And Giacomin, is he gonna... He's up to 3.5 stars. I think he was 3 to start with. Oh, come on. Now Giacomin's out with eye irritation. So we got both of our starting goalies gone.
Oh, that's why we brought in somebody else.
Yeah, Wayne Stevenson, future Flyer in real life, although not for many more years. Blues and Flyers. So he's getting his NHL debut much earlier than expected. And okay, I was wrong. Esposito's going to have to play.
Just as I planned.
And Esposito gets the team we've got him from, Montreal.
Pewog says, wasn't Walker's career average super high? It was very good. Question from Atheon asks, when trading players in FHM, should you always keep it around 10 or always above?
10's about as low as I would want to go. I try to keep it around 12, 13 if I can. Just focus on the guys who can, trading them faster will really make a difference. Your top players are the ones you figure you got the most room to improve in. And Esposito gets absolutely crushed in Montreal. Did Stevenson have to come in? Yeah, Stevenson even had to play a few minutes of that one. That was embarrassing. But we got injuries, so we'll write it off to that. See how he does against the Hawks, his real life team. Oh, 2-2 tie. Oh, looks like we tied it with the goalie out? Yep, 32 seconds left. Dick Duff gets the tying goal.
Excellent.
But there's a cost because now Bob Wojtowicz is hurt.
Of course.
So we are up to 5 injuries, although Bergman is just about ready to come back. Nobody too badly, though. It's all... Oh, no, Orland Kurtenbach broke his collarbone, so he's going on the injured list. And I am calling up somebody. Another forward, I guess. They're all... Well, Doug Roberts can play the wing, but he's 1 star. Do I want to bring up a forward that's going to develop a little more? Do we give Gwen Sather a chance?
No.
No, he's our lowest potential guy. I think I'm going to go with Andre Lacroix then, because we brought Hextall up last time.
Unless we are incredibly desperate.
Yeah, Sather wasn't that bad of a player.
Well, he's only a half-star guy at this point.
Yeah, 2-star potential. Okay, Gary Bergman is thankfully back.
Spy Chicken again in the chat says, I'm getting the game soon. Any tips for beginners?
Depending beginners to hockey or beginners to the game. It's best to, if you know hockey a little bit, it's probably best to, when you think, Adam, to start out with the team that you're familiar with.
My advice always is, and I've given this on our forums, I've given it on Reddit and through our Discord, is start in the NHL, no matter what your favorite team is, just to get a feeling and understanding of the game. And don't be afraid to let the AI control some things if you're not 100% sure what exactly you want to do.
Historical
From
season
there,
starting with isn't a bad idea too, because the game will move along a little faster, and it's a bit simple, a little simpler depending on when you're playing relative to modern hockey.
Yeah, so you can kind of get your feet wet basically. After that, again, it's fun to just kind of play and explore it yourself. If you're watching our stream, again, we're currently streaming on Steam, which is where this question comes from, but we stream every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/OOTP Developments. I would recommend coming down to watch. We also have a giant archive of our streams going all the way back to FHM2 that have lots of good tips and tricks available on our YouTube channel. Besides that, again, coming on down to our official forums, ootpdevelopments.com, and ask questions to the community. There's a lot of very helpful people who are more than willing to share their expertise.
Yep, and we're always around as well, so if it's something about the game design or technical questions, I can answer those a lot of the time. Almost got Terry Sawchuk back. We actually got a win there with Wayne Stevenson, our 4th-string goalie, in goal.
Excellent. Who were we playing?
The Bruins? I got to go back and look now. And narrow 3-2 loss with Esposito in. We got that win against the Rangers. We got a few days off here now, so hopefully some guys are going to heal up. Giacomin's almost back. I don't want to rush him, though. So Hillman back.
PWOG, if you're setting messages on Facebook, it's usually me as well.
Yeah.
Unless I'm unavailable, but that is my job.
It'll be me, but most of the time it's Adam. And shutout 3-0 against Detroit. So let's play this one last game against Montreal. Sawchuk can start that. 7.
Is there any performance hit when you starting a goalie in back-to-back nights, or is it just a standard fit percentage Atheon XS.
Yeah, if the fitness percentage is still at 100 for the second night, you're fine. If not, if it's lower than that, then yeah, they're going to get a little bit of a performance hit depending on how far it goes, how far down it is.
I have seen though there's been times where playing my goalie back to back gets them on a bit of a roll.
Yeah, depending, you got to consider the opposition too, and you wouldn't want to put a goalie in over his, if it's the best team in the league you're up against and his fitness is sitting at 60. Probably not a good plan.
Oh, I've never at 60, but sometimes you'll see a guy at like 81%.
Okay,
and I will consider throwing him in for that.
A few more games because we're almost up to Christmas, and we will take a look at where we are team-wise and scoring and whatnot.
I'd say so far our season's been pretty good, all things considered.
Yep. Goalie injuries. If that hadn't been hitting us so hard, I think we'd be doing a little bit better. And now John Ferguson got suspended.
Future Jets GM.
So what does that...
And keep in mind that is John Ferguson Sr., not Jr.
Yeah, not the future Leafs GM. I got an extra spot, so I'm going to call up a winger. Got to be Bill Collins. Haven't seen any more good wave players since Cheevers. It'd be nice to get one because we kind of need.
Gudu, I don't want us to talk about the Jets right now. P-Wog says Jeff and Adam, will Jeff Blashill be fired this year?
Wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, I can see him only getting fired if Gerard Gallant wants the job right now.
Which would make sense.
I mean,
former wing.
Really, it's not his fault. Like,
I know that
the guy's
should be doing better than it. It's nobody was expecting
I don't know
miracles out of him, but they're so far back now. It's a little ridiculous.
Dropping for that, trying for that number one pick.
Yeah, but I mean, they could be 10 points better and they'd still be in safe ground for that.
I don't know. Not all that falls on the coach. I'll say that much.
What is with Giacomo not being ready to come back?
Okay, this may be a silly question, but is there a way to look at all players being actively scouted, or is using the arrow keys through each scout the most efficient?
That's probably the most efficient way. Although he's not going to, because the way scouting works, every player who's potentially being scouted is going to be an extremely long list. What was I going to do here? Oh yeah, trying to... Okay, we're into the Christmas break now. So everybody's getting healthy, and okay, we'll round us out to the new year. Finally, Duff is back. Duff is back, and I think Ferguson's got one game left on his suspension. Giacomo's back, so Esposito can go down. 3.85 goals against average, 898 save percentage, and 6 losses. So not too impressive for Esposito, but he'll get better. And Giacomo again in against the Rangers. 3-1 loss.
For a guy we weren't intending to start at all this year, I think Esposito's done just fine.
We at least get a win against the Bruins here to end the year. Nope. So this is how we close out 1965. Oh, missed a player poll. Does anybody get named on the Canucks? Nope.
I mean...
Richard, best skater, not surprising. Bobby Hull, fastest. Coach you'd most like to play for, Punch and block. Maybe not.
Well, the game still says for some people that most coach you most want to play for is Mike Babcock, but I don't think that's true
Well, that's
in our
I've,
game.
I've revised his ratings a little bit since then, so I don't think that's
Well,
going to be
I
as bad
don't,
if
I
we
know,
start a game
I know.
now. But okay, there we go. Here's our mid-season summary: 70 games to play, and we're 40 down out of a 70-game season. We are 17 points back of 6, so I think we can give up on our hopes of beating one of the established teams this year. See, I mean, that's the downside to not having the big expansion. We don't have 5 other expansion teams to beat up on. So maybe we do a partial expansion at the end of this season.
Okay, we're still just a note here. Finally, P-Wog says your mic's still sounding much quieter than mine.
That's weird.
So maybe I'm just booming through, though. I'm not.
I wonder if I. Oh wait, I did something. Hang on, let me.
Am I really loud or is Jeff quiet? I mean, we're at the end of the stream, anyways, but.
Let me just try something here. Oh wait, actually no, I don't want to do that now because I'm probably going to disconnect myself from Discord, so we'll have to leave it like that for this one. We'll check the sound after this. And
yeah, so Lacos1234 has shown up in the chat, and he has asked the question, how does the game determine which 18-year-olds are available for the draft, or are they just which are available? I started the game in 1968, and Theo Fleury, Ed Belfour, Mark Recchi, Joe Juneau, and Craig Jenny were all unsigned.
68 or 86?
He says 68, but I
think most of those guys would be 2 years old then.
Yeah, I'm thinking he meant 86, unless he's playing a
random debut game.
Yes, thank you. That was the word I was looking for. That wasn't coming to my mind.
Okay, I think I changed something on the mic settings, so that might be explain the difference.
Okay, I'm louder than Jeff, but Jeff is not quiet. Okay, so there we go.
Just having a look at our individual settings. So it was 1986. I'd have to take a look at the settings for those guys in that year. I'm not sure why they would be coming up unsigned. 86. Yeah, I'm not sure offhand about that. I'll have a look and make sure everything's okay in the database for those guys, because other than maybe Juneau, although Juneau, Belfour, and Johnny are all college guys. I don't see a common thread between them. And
Belfour wasn't drafted, so he could be a free agent.
Yeah, right. No, so some of the others were, though, so there's nothing in common.
Yeah.
I'll take a look at that and try to see if there's an error or something that's doing that, because I don't think it should be like that. Anyhow, getting back to this, our mid-year stats. What do we got? Wayne Connolly surprisingly leading us in scoring.
All right.
And Eddie Shack, even more surprisingly, number 2.
Shack Attack.
He's only getting 16 minutes a game. He's doing that from the second or third line. Yeah, fairly balanced across the board. We just haven't got the one big scorer that could, and we probably won't have it this year if we wind up drafting Brad Park first overall, because he'll be on D. Going by the game ratings, Carl Brewer far and away the best player. Ted Hampson slowed down a little bit. Getting good ratings, but he hasn't been scoring that much.
Trade the youth, cash in.
Yeah, that seems like a bad idea.
That's why you're not the GM.
Yeah, see, Hillman and Wojtowicz, that bottom line right defenseman, whichever one I use, both of them aren't doing well. Reggie Fleming hasn't been doing that great playing D. So I don't think he'll stay there. And goaltending, Jackman, pretty good save percentage, high goals against average. Ooh, Sawchuk's, 115. That is not a good look on him. So I think we're going with Jackman most of the rest of the way. And we got a couple of minutes here. So we will play another 1 or 2 games before we go. Okay, Stafford Smythe not happy with us. Let's just check the job security screen. Ooh, we're in Yellow and
Question
one
from
has
the
to
chat,
avoid the
Jeff,
bottom
is the
quarter of
reason why
league.
you wanted to play in a 7-team league because you think that's the only way you can win?
I don't see that question in the chat. I think you just made that one up. See, the fans are reasonably happy with us. They know better.
Because they know the truth.
Problem is, I'm playing against 6 teams that are way better than me. Although we do manage a 3-2 win over Gordie Howe and the Wings. And John Ferguson's finally unsuspended, but now Bob Bond gets hurt. Hopefully not too bad. He's out for 2 weeks on Whiteowitches. Dislocated the shoulder, so we're going to have to call somebody. No, I don't want to send him down. I want to put him on the injured list. And okay, try Roberts first, although we may give Dennis Kearns a try later on. Going to wind this up here. Oh, Harlan Kurtenbach ready to come back almost. And narrow 3-2 loss to the Blackhawks. Not Giacomo's fault. He stopped 36 shots.
Atheon X says, I have about 0 to 3% knowledge about this time in hockey. And you know what? That's a lot of people do, but you know, it's a great way to learn too. And I mean, there's times I play and have Google open to search around and learn more about somebody who I maybe don't know a lot.
I wanted to have historical in the game, so people would take a look at these older years and get a little more appreciation for hockey history. And Doug Roberts, his first game up, manages to get suspended for 4 games.
Excellent. What a call-up.
So I think we will leave it off there, and we'll have to figure out what we're going to... I got room to take another guy up. So I don't forget it to... Oh, Bob Wall is the one that I wanted to call up. Okay, there we go. I'll leave it there to end the show with. And there is the stats. Oh, we should take a look at the NHL leaders. Just to see how the rest of the league. Wow, Montreal looks like they're way out in front there.
Why are you shocked by that?
Points by a pretty good margin.
Of course they are. This was Montreal in the prime.
And Howie Young running away with the penalty minute lead. 221 penalty minutes in 48 games, which I think is probably on track for a record. But yeah, there's the standings. Canadians on top easily, then Leafs, Wings, and Hawks. And even the Rangers are fairly close. The Bruins are a little bit back, but they're going to get Bobby Orr in another year, so they don't have to worry too much about that. They're going to get a lot better. Rangers have some pretty good young players from what I remember.
We should try and trade for the rights to Bobby Orr.
Let's see, that's bordering on cheating now. Maybe
Why?
try it next time.
Oh, how dare we consider getting Bobby Orr? What a terrible thing that would be.
Okay, yeah, well, actually the Bruins are looking a little thin. Maybe we can find somebody to offer him. Okay, do you want to wind up there, Adam?
We'll offer him Sawcheck. But thank you very much for tuning into another Franchise Hockey Manager stream. We typically stream every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/OT Developments. And you might also find us on our Steam page as well. You can reach out to us. Or rather, all of our streams are archived on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/OOTP Developments. You can also reach out to us on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/franchise hockey manager, on Twitter, which is @franchise hockey. And we can find a link to our official Discord as well, or you can come on down to our official website, which is ootpdevelopments.com. Click on the community button in the top right-hand corner, which will bring you to our official forums, which you can come talk about Franchise Hockey Manager, Out of the Park Baseball, Perfect Team, or anything else you want to talk about. Jeff, did I miss anything?
I don't think so. I think we covered pretty much everything.
Although there might be something on our social media tomorrow if you're watching this live.
Yeah, if you're
Otherwise,
watching this live and you don't have the game yet, you may want to keep an eye on the...
you might want to wait a couple hours.
Yeah, you might want to just keep an eye out, because the NHL All-Star Game is this weekend, and we do have kind of a tradition of doing All-Star Game sales, but we're not officially telling you that, just saying that maybe you want to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, just watch our social media channels. You never know what you might see.
Yep.
Crazy things.
We will be back next week as Adam continues to try to keep from getting fired with the Minnesota Wild.
So, I am not optimistic.
We'll see if we can make it to the end of the show at least, and then we'll be back a couple of weeks from now and pick up this where we left off and see if we can not get fired in our first season with the Canucks. So thanks for coming out if you're on Twitch or happen to be watching on Steam, and we will see you in a week from now.